حياكم الله. معكم بكري محمد من مركز كيف للغات والمعلوماتية أو بس نواصل مع سلسلة الدروس المتعلقة بالreporting report speech. So today we are going to see reporting questions and instructions. How to report questions and instructions. Okay. So reporting questions. Number one, reporting questions, so that we're gonna see how to report questions. Okay. نركزوا كيف ننقل report speech of الأسئلة. There are two kind of questions. We are going to deal with two kind of questions today. الحين نشوفهم أنواعين من الأسئلة. We have WH questions and yes and no questions. نشوفهم WH questions and yes and no, yes or no questions, yes or no questions. Okay. So what is WH question and what is yes or no question? First let's see WH question. احنا عندنا نوعين من الأسئلة اللي نتعاطى معاهم هما WH questions and yes and no questions. Okay. So we are going to see first the difference between the two kind of questions. نشوفوا أولا شنو الفرق بيناتهم ونتعرفوا لكل واحد منهم وحده ونقدر نشوفوا نعرفوا كانوا WH question والله yes or no question. Okay. So we have for instance WH question is a question that starts with WH. WH like what, where, when, who, which, extra. يعني WH questions هي الأسئلة اللي تبدأ WH، يعني أول حرف من السؤال، أول حرفين من السؤال W and H. You see? So to answer the question or to answer such questions, we have to give specific information. النوع من الأسئلة اللي بعدها WH هاد لا يجاوبوا لابد من يعطي معلومات. يجاوبوا لابد من يتطلب إعطاء معلومات. Example, for instance we have where do you live? Where do you live? هذا سؤال WH questions. علاش نقول إنه it's WH questions? Because it starts with this, with W and H. Okay. So we have for instance the answer. Q is question and A is the answer. So we have the answer. I live in Sagata. I live in Sagata. So this is specific information. In order to answer this question, we give information. So look at this. B we have yes and no question. Okay. يعني عرفنا المتعلق ب WH question. قلنا بعد انه يبدأ WH WH وانه جوابه يتطلب معلومات، يتطلب إعطاء معلومات. اوكي. الصنف الثاني من الأسئلة اللي يتعاطوا معه هو اللي قالوا B we have yes and no question. Yes and no question. This kind of questions start with an auxiliary such as do, does, did, have, has, extra. النوع من الأسئلة الثاني هو yes or no question. Yes or no questions, this kind of question starts with an auxiliary. يعني إنه يبدأ auxiliary which is a helping verb. Start with helping verb like do, does, did, extra. Okay. To answer yes or no questions, we don't need to give details or information. The answer can be yes or no. يعني إذا من الأسئلة هاد له يجاوبوا ما يحتاج يعطي اسم التفاصيل، قد يقول نعم وقد يقول no. At for instance example question: Do you speak English؟ هذا قالك هل تتحدث الإنجليزية؟ You can say yes or no. تقدر تقول no، يعني إنك جواب ما يتطلب اسم المعلومات. Yes and no, it's okay. So then yes I do, no I don't. يعني إنه ما يتطلب، جوابه دائما ما يتطلب اسم المعلومات والتفاصيل وهذا. Okay. So let's move on. We have for instance W H question. Here we have how to report WH questions. هذا هو المهم, which is how to report WH questions. ده هو موضوع درسنا. قلت في البداية كلهم نعرف عليه وحده، تشوفوا ليه مثال والله يوضح لكم أكثر، ومن ثم نشوفوا how to report each one of them individually. Now we are going to see how to report WH questions. Hello, where are you? Hello, where are you? Okay, he said. This is, look at this sentence. Hello, where are you? He said. This is WH question. Okay, he greeted me and asked where I was. This is how to report the previous sentence. So this is direct. This is direct. Hello, where are you? He said. This is direct because it is between inverted commas. Okay. So to report this sentence, we say hello. We say he greeted me and asked where I was. He greeted me and asked where I was. Okay. Look. Note. When we report questions, there is no inversion of the subject and auxiliary in the reported clause. What does that mean? In report speech, there is no inversion of the subject and auxiliary in the reported clause. Okay? The word order is the same as in statements, and we do not use a question mark. We do not use a question mark. Example: we have when we report a WH questions, we repeat the original question word. يعني repeat the بداية WH question, repeat what, who, when, where, extra in the reported clause. Example: look at this. I'm not sure if you can see this clearly or not. If you can see it, look at this. Rebecca, where do you live? Rebecca asked me where I live. Rebecca asked me where I live. Team, who are you waiting for? Look at this. Team, who are you waiting for? Team wanted to know who I was waiting for. Okay, then look at this. WH question clause can be used to report exclamation. It is also can be used to report exclamation. Ivan is a name like Mariam, Jainaba. Okay, how funny. This is exclamation. Tajub. Okay, Eva exclaimed how funny it was. This is how to report exclamation. Okay, example of reporting verbs used to report questions. Reporting verbs used in indirect questions. We have ask, inquire, know. Okay, we have remember, want to know, wonder. Those are just some reported, some reported verbs that are used when we are reporting WH question. Okay, so let's move on. Let's see this. When we report a WH question, we repeat the original question words. This is just what we have explained so far, and I would like you to take a look on this. It might be clear. So then we have to look at this. Look at these examples. What time do you wake up? Okay, what time do you wake up? Paul asked me. Paul asked me. Paul asked me what time I woke up, because simple present wake up changed to simple past woke up. Okay, what time do you wake up? Paul asked me what time I woke up. And as we have said, when we are reporting WH question, there is no inversion. There is no inversion. Like for instance, look at the auxiliary. There is no auxiliary. And look at what time do you wake up. Paul asked me what time I wake up. I instead of you, because شوفوا I جي في بال جاية في بال هذه يو فيديو مسويني أنا and do قلعناها به اللي قلنا بعدا نقول reporting WH question there is no auxiliary, okay, or inversion. يعني ما فيه ذيك طريقة auxiliary plus subject plus verb plus the question mark, and there is no question mark. look here, there is no question mark, ما فيه علامة استفهام. Where do you work? This is example number 2. Where do you work? Where do you work? Do is auxiliary, and this is question mark. Then look at this. Paul asked me where I worked. Paul سوالني أنا نشتغل منين. Where I worked. This is to work in simple present, worked in simple past, and because asked me, you is we replace it with I, the pronouns I. Then we have this auxiliary here. We don't have auxiliary in reported WH questions. This is question mark here, and we don't have to use question mark in reported WH questions. Where did you go on holidays? Look at this جملة رقم 3. Where did you go on holiday? هذه جملة بين قوسين simple past. they did auxiliary نقولوا ليه نحولوا short report speech ما وفيها question mark. report speech ما في auxiliary يلا نقولوا أنا did أول شيء نتخلصوا منها. then question mark, there is no question mark if you don't put any question mark. Okay, so look at this. Where did you go on holidays? انتين نحولوه شو report speech لأن أول شي نخطو عليه did نقلوها I رامبلاسوها بالضمير ديالها يقول مناسب لأت داير هون بول أسكد مي بول مسواني أنا اللي نديرو في بال I اللي نديرو في بال يو اللي نديرو في بالها I وإذا أد ونهايتها بدلا من ندير question mark لا ندير period. Okay, and because simple past changed to past perfect لا نقول had gone. So Paul asked me where I had gone on holiday. Okay, إن شاء الله يعود واضح لكم. Then what did you eat for lunch? What did you eat for lunch? Paul asked me what I had eaten for lunch. Okay, where will you go tonight? Paul asked me where I would go tonight. Will change to would. Okay, so let's move on to see this is reporting yes and no questions, how to report yes and no questions. Because the video has been so long, we're gonna stop here and continue in another video. see you soon إن شاء الله لأن الفيديو طويل عليكم توقيته. لا هنا نوقف هون ونواصل إن شاء الله فيديو ثاني. يا مرحبا والسلام.